and experience a whole new world of Zing, your trusted online family company.
WEFM, the clean, fresh sound.
WhatsApp us or call us at 457-9997. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
Alrighty, so we are back with you for another segment of our Activated Mornings program here on WEFM, and it is the commentary segment with Mr. Lyf Compton. Mr. Lyf Compton.
Morning. Morning, Maka. Morning, Roleza. Morning, listeners. How was everybody this morning?
We good.
Everybody good? Okay. So y'all listen to Parliament yesterday, or y'all don't take part in that?
Part of it.
Yeah, I was listening.
Okay. Parliament, you just say some very interesting things in Parliament. So I want to highlight three this morning in this space of time that I have. One notable thing that was said during not yesterday, but in Parliament itself, Prime Minister Dr. Ghana on Friday mentioned that the government will be phasing out the reliance on Cuban medical professionals in over a 3-year period. It was a mention if the program was the reason for the program being phased out. I think that persons will be very interested to know the reason.
Well, because, cost was the reason given.
Cost?
Yeah. Cost was a fact. I got sent it for
Interesting. The United States, you remember the United States attacked several countries in the region for their reliance on the program, saying that it was exploiting workers and etc. And the European administrator had responded by sending all the records and how they're paid and what's not and what's not, to show that we weren't really involved in that exploitation part, right? But I had a very interesting conversation with a doctor yesterday, coincidentally, where they were explaining that in medicine, the degree that you get, the piece of paper that you get to say you're a doctor, does not even come close to the experience that a doctor that is operating over a few years adds up to. Right, so when you talk about cost, I don't think that you're able to really put a cost to a medical professional that been operating in a field for 15-20 years, right? That is a very hard thing to do. And because I noticed in the address that the Prime Minister said that they would be hiring people. There will be he said they will be hiring at least 4 people to replace some of these people, right? But it will never come to the same thing. It will never come to the same thing. I have had interactions with Cuban medical professionals, although some of them are not very fluent in English. They have what you call really good bedside manner and different things, right? They're very experienced. So I hope the phasing out doesn't really lower the quality of healthcare provided, because that can happen. This doesn't even have anything to do with politics or whatever. It's just basically what could happen, right? Their experiences I've had with medical professionals of Vincent Descent at the Mental Cato Memorial Hospital, where they have no bedside manner, they're very disrespectful and condescending. There are people who go to the doctor and they ask simple questions like, "What is wrong with me?" and doctors refuse to answer. I have experienced that personally, and I've seen that personally. There was an incident where I saw a man who was struck by a motor vehicle, broke his 2 legs and his arm, and he was trying to ask the doctor certain things that was going on with his body and whatever, and the doctor was refusing to answer him, if he didn't have to answer him, and it ended up in an argument, a cuss out where he cursed the doctor and told the department head that he didn't want a doctor deal with him anymore because the doctor had no respect. And I saw it, and his action was justified. So that is just one bedside manner professionalism. experience is the main thing. So I hope this doesn't really like set back our medical structure in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Another that was funny is when Dr. Kishore Shadow, the new Minister of Tourism, said he wants to ask the former Minister of Tourism, Carlos James, if he paid for the award that he had won.
Mm-hmm.
He had won. That was interesting. He said first he said he wants to know if Senator James paid for the award, and he would like the senator to explain or whatever. And then he said that when he came into office, he received an email offering him the position of best new minister, best junior minister or something, and it was an invoice for $50,000 that came along with that, right? Maybe it's a journalist with me. First of all, if I'm coming to Parliament with something like that, and I'm saying that somebody's offering to pay me $50,000 to vote me as the junior minister, I won't even hide that. I won't even hide the entity that's doing that. I would read the entire email and exactly who it came from or whatever and give all the details. I would have the invoice in Parliament and show everything. I won't even play with something like that. Right? And then being the former minister, that would have been it would have been very easy to find out as being the current minister, it would be easy to find out if the former minister was paid for that. That would be very easy to find out. You know what I mean? So sometimes, like when you listen to Parliament, the politicians make poke at one another and make fun of one another, right? So sometimes you have to know you have to be critical in your analysis and see if you can know why is fun or why is not fun or why is joke or what not joke. Because as I said, whatever he said, that would be very easy to prove. You know what I mean? I actually when I heard it, I actually went and researched if the award that the former minister won could be paid for, and it said that I did some research and it said the award that one can't be paid for. That is actually a legit and prestigious award that is given to ministers or whatever. So I actually went and looked it up because it would have been interesting to know, because there are a lot of I came across one of these competitions recently where people were competing to be on the front of a magazine.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a situation where when you look closer, there was an option to pay. There was an option to pay. So your friends or whatever, your family or whatever could go and donate to pay to get this thing done. So then the credibility of it was kind of like, I had to actually look at the credibility.
Yeah, there's a thing called vanity awards where some companies, in order to, you get these spam emails, or these spam emails will come to different companies. Where there's a particular company that I worked at before where we would get these type of emails nominating us for this or giving us suggesting that we have won such and such. But you just have to do your research, go to the website and see, and then you could double check. Well, vanity awards is a real thing. But in the context of this one, you did the research, but you did the research, and to me, all persons need to do is just double check for themselves to see what the award was about, who gave it to the minister, and they could form their own opinion based on that.
Yeah. I went and looked at it. There are several awards that are in the region that you have to win them just solely off your actions and your work and thing. Mm-hmm. And according to what I researched, that was one of them. That but who knows, right? Who knows? Maybe who knows? It's good. The current minister could find out that information very, very easily and bring it to the people. Because if let's not mince words here. If that happened, that's dishonest. You didn't win something. You paid for something. So that's something. It might not seem important to some people, but that is important for the public to know. Because when it was announced that Senator Carlos James won that award, I thought that was a good thing. So if there is something actually that was paid for and not one from his work or whatever, I think the public should know. And if the the money was used, government used the money to pay for that, then I think that we should know. So what Dr. Kishore Shallow has to understand is that is our business. So say if you know something went wrong, just give all the information and say and let the public decide how they feel about that. You know what I mean? But as I said, I went and researched it, and it doesn't seem to have been anything wrong with it. It seems to that he won that award straight out. Another interesting thing in Parliament from yesterday was Senator Jamali Jan's presentation, where he was speaking about the education revolution, and he said that he does not want to be referred as a child of the education revolution. That was very interesting. He basically said that he went to the grammar school in 2022, and then he went to the community college in 2007 or something like that. Was it 2007? 2002.
2002.
2002 and 2007.
Oh, right.
Right. So he said he went to the grammar school in 2002, and then he went on to the college in 2007, and he thanked his parents for aiding his education or whatever. So I don't know how far. Well, the Unity Labour Party administration boasted that when they came into power, they began immediately to revamp the education system. So he says he doesn't want to refer to a child of the education revolution. And he also made a valid point. He said when children graduate from school and they don't do anything, they are orphans, basically. Nobody wants to say they are a product of the education revolution. But they are a product of the education revolution, because everything has a good side and a bad side. So if a child comes out of school and they didn't achieve anything, it is not solely the fault of the education revolution, but the education revolution would be partly responsible, right? But if he says that he didn't benefit and his parents paid for everything or whatever, I could understand that. But if the reason is purely political, that won't stand with me if it's purely political, right? Because I could remember what going to school was like under the New Democratic Party administration. In my days, there were a lot of half the school, there were like one or two island scholarships, and where you had to be the top two. First it was the top student, and then it was the top boy and the top girl. It was very, very hard for people of a certain economic standing to attain any form of higher education. If you was a lawyer, your children became lawyers. If you was a doctor, your children became doctors. If you was an engineer, your children became engineers, because then you put aside the money for that. As I said, if you were from a certain economic standing, it was almost impossible for poor people trying to go to university. Almost impossible. You didn't find that happening when I was growing up. And like it wasn't happening so much so in that, like, friends of mine in school, they didn't really set their mind on going to university. You know what I mean? It was like university was something discussed as like something extremely prestigious. So kudos to Mr. John and his family for his parents being able to support his educational rise or whatever. I understand that he's a lawyer. I met him once. Cool fella, but sometimes you gotta be very careful of what you say. You say to, right? I respect everybody's opinion on what they think or whatever. And maybe the government didn't help him. Maybe his family is who pushed him or whatever. So, but there are a lot of people who are products of the education revolution, and there are a lot of people who have benefited from that. I don't know going forward how what was adopted by the ULP would be done still, because I don't know how that would go, because we see a lot of things that we saw a lot of things coming under the education revolution as described by the NDP. So yeah, that's my contribution. My contribution.
Sorry, yeah, no, I was distracted. I apologize. All right.
Yeah, so yeah, that's my contribution for today. So you guys take care.
All right, no problem. So yes, this Thursday, so that means that we have Cop Chat coming up next, which is why this segment of Lyf's commentary was shorter than usual. All right.
All right.
All right. Thank you. We see you tomorrow. Okay. Alrighty, so that was our commentary this morning with Lyf Compton, and as indicated, in a few minutes, we'll be bringing to you this morning's Cop Chat, and a few of our guests are already in studio. All right, so time here in SVG, it is quickly approaching 8:01, and our time check came through the compliments of New Haven Funeral Home.
Death is a fact of life. Even though death is a fact of life, that doesn't make it any easier.